This test affects me, my children, and my other children in so many other ways. So I spent a lot of time wondering what I wanted my focus to be, since I only have 5 minutes and I was barely given a week's notice to write this. Today I choose to be an ELL who happens to teach ELL students. I teach in a wonderful urban SDA district, formerly known as Abbott, where we happen to use a dual language program model. For the past 4 years, at least half of my class, if not more, is Latino. And from those 8 to 10 students, at least 7 of them are ELL students. We have 2 days a week where I speak Spanish the entire day, because it has been found that children who learn to read in their native language first actually become more fluent in English. It works, and I've seen it happen. This model follows them into kindergarten, but stops there. Once a child enters first grade, the dual language model we use ends, and if they enter the school system in the first grade or higher, they never experience it. In my preschool class, I'm at liberty to make assessments in English or Spanish. Sometimes I start in one language and end up having to redo it in the other, because they're either not ready for the English or they've actually reached a point where they understand the English assessment better. The point is, I'm at liberty to do that. I know my children better than anyone else in the district, and my district has entrusted me to make those judgment calls, just like we've always trained and entrusted our teachers to do it. Our ELL children don't get these accommodations once they start testing, and I don't understand why. How can we label someone as below proficient just because they aren't fluent in the language, and consequently hold teachers and schools responsible for something that is completely out of their control? I understand it's an English language arts test, but aren't we also grading comprehension and the ability to make valid arguments based on some form of literature? Today, with the PARCC and the Common Core state standards, the situation is even more unjust, as our math tests have become an extension of our language arts tests with extremely wordy and purposely confusing questions. We then go on to use these scores for advanced placement classes, gifted and talented programs, and eventually they'll be used for graduation. Our children know more and are worth more than these numbers, yet we continue to use these numbers against them and their teachers. We set them up for failure. These tests are difficult as it is for our mainstream students. What can I say about the toll it's taking on our ELL kids? What message are we sending to these children, many of which are in fact proficient in math and in reading and writing in their own language, but don't speak English fluently? We're telling them that they aren't good enough, and then we're sending that message along with them throughout their school years. There's a saying that I always think about when I find myself comparing my students' skills against everyone else's. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. And our kids aren't stupid.